Hello everyone, this is Snigdha Mohapatra and today's topic for the video is the right to private defense. What is private defense? Private defense or self-defense in the eyes of law permits the use of reasonable force to protect oneself or one's property, which simply means you can use force which otherwise is a crime against someone who is harming you or your property. Now, what is the right of private defense? It is the duty of an individual to first help and protect oneself when being threatened or harmed. Furthermore, the act of private defense solely depends on if the apprehension of danger is real and reasonable. It serves as a social purpose which one can practically take law in his own hands to defend oneself or property or that of others. It is clearly defined in section 96 of the Indian Penal Code, which states that nothing is an offense which is done in the exercise of the right of private defense. Why is private defense defined under general exceptions of criminal law? General exceptions are mentioned in criminal law because in certain acts there is absence of mens rea, which implies there is an absence of the intention or knowledge of wrongdoing that constitutes the wrongdoing as a part of the crime. So basically, it is the mental element of person's intention to commit a crime which is absent. Therefore, it can be affirmed that the act of private defense is an immediate action occurred due to the independent compelling circumstances. Who can exercise this exception mentioned under the criminal law? The right of private defense, as the name suggests, is an act of defense and not of an offense. Therefore, every individual having a fair reason to believe that he is being threatened or harmed can exercise this right. Section 97 of the IPC limits exercise of the right of private defense to the extent of absolute necessity. That is, you can take the use of private defense only in extreme necessities. This section divides the right onto two parts. The section states that every person has a right to defend one, the right of private defense of person, and two, the right of private defense of property. Right of private defense of a person. An individual can defend or protect his own body and the body of any other person against any wrong affecting such human body. For example, Ram can use private defense if he is being physically harmed by Ravan, and Ram can also use it if Sita is being physically harmed by Ravan. Now, what is right of private defense against property? Any individual can defend to protect his own property, whether movable or immovable property of any other individual against any act which is considered to be crime under IPC. For example, theft, robbery, trespass, misappropriation, etc. To understand, you can use private defense against a person who is destroying or breaking or taking away your property. And you can also use private defense against a person who is doing the same to someone else's property. Who can one exercise it against? Any individual having the fear of being harmed by another is allowed to use force to ward off the immediate danger to his or someone else's person or property. Section 98 of IPC even includes a minor, an insane, or an intoxicated person as a wrongdoer. Generally, these categories of people escape judicial sanction, but when it comes to private defense, there is no escape. For example, suppose P, a person under the influence of madness, attempts to kill S, another person. P is responsible for no offense, but S has the same right of private defense which he would have if P was sane. When can one not use the right of private defense? Any individual cannot use his right of private defense against such acts when they do not have an immediate and reasonable apprehension of danger, or if such act is performed or attempted to be performed by any public servant, or the act performed or attempted to be performed by the direction or orders of any public servant, or in good faith or good intention, or during the course of the duty of the public servant, or if you have time to take help from public authorities, that is the police. Now, is right of private defense an unlimited or an absolute right? If not, then to what extent one can exercise it? No, the right of private defense is not an unlimited right. Necessity needs no law. The right of private defense has to be exercised directly in proportion to the extent of aggression. That means if someone slaps you, you cannot in the name of private defense at max slap him or push him but not kill him. Can you kill a person while exercising your right of private defense? The right of private defense can save a person from guilt even if he causes the death of another person. In which situation can you kill a person without being guilty? Section 100 of IPC authorizes a person to take away life in exercise of his right of private defense against body. In regards of human body, an act where the understanding is that death is and will be the only consequence, grievous hurt, rape or attempt to rape, an act performed with the intention of satisfying unnatural lust or desire, a wrong committed with the intention of kidnapping or seizing, an act performed with the intention of wrongfully imprisoning a person without any source of help from public authorities, or acid attack or attempt to acid attack. In these situations, you may kill a person and may not be pronounced guilty. In a valid circumstance, till what time the right continues? The right continues till the danger is present. You cannot act after a cooling period or after the danger is over. For example, A threatens to kill B and pointed a gun towards him. Meanwhile, C, a close friend of A, came in between and stopped A, after which A returned to his home. If now B attacks or attempts to do so, then he will be held liable for such an attack and will not be given shelter under the right of private defense. Law will not be able to help someone who is not capable of helping oneself when something wrong happens to them. Therefore, subject to limitations and conditions, it is the right of every individual to get private defense. Thank you so much and see you in another video.